whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you are blessed and doing safe. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings, family. Of course, I'm tuning in. You see me without the glasses off today, but if you're looking for some opportunities, particular advertisement opportunities, then look no further at the link at the bottom to my email address. You can hit me up for advertisement opportunities. We are supporting and promoting your businesses here on this channel. You can also, if you would like to donate and subscribe to our Patreon, a link is at the bottom as well. So you have multiple ways in which you can advertise with the platform by emailing me when we go on do our live stream. You also have access to premium content, those that want to see premium content that you will not find here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, as I am suspended probably by now. You guys can check out the Patreon at link at the bottom. But advertisement opportunities, definitely email me, gavin.grich1@gmail.com for rates. And for the Patreon, it is the same as the YouTube channel. It is channel gboot2786. All right, I'll holla. Peace. Tonight on Gavin Reshaw Presents here on channel gboot2786, we'll be discussing Black News Channel attacks Dr. Bill Cosby on his birthday, updates on the Haitian president's assassination, and I'll be talking Vaxx that thing up again with our brother and friend to the channel, brother Shawn James. Shawn is coming on to, of course, give his opinions. This is Random Topic Thursdays. What's going on, Shawn?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good, my brother. Thank you for joining in. Of course, guys, you know how we always start this thing off. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you are blessed and doing safe. It's time to get on up. Ah, excuse me. One second. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Can y'all hear the music? All right. I don't know what's going on with my audio. Let me know if y'all can hear it now. Y'all can hear the music? So no music. Huh? Okay. Hold on. I'll be right back.
Cause when the beat is really grooving, start to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up. Now, 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you breathe, then you achieve. And so, if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll feel the groove. Get on the floor. Get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, start to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up.
It says echoing. Hold on. Alright, I'm sorry.
Girl, come on. Gotta dance to the beat. Cause on the dance floor is where we'll be. Show me what you got.
How's that?
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up. Right now, look. Now, 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you breathe, then you achieve. And so, if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll feel the groove. Get on the floor. Get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, start to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the floor, baby. Gotta get on the floor, baby. Gotta get on the floor, baby. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you are blessed and doing safe. Yeah, we had a few audio issues right there. When I'm doing StreamYard, I was doing it through my Microsoft Edge, and I hit audio to share audio so everybody could hear it. But for whatever reason, it's not coming out, so no one can hear it when I'm doing it. So I have to switch over to Google Chrome. It works much, much better. So, yes, whoever you are, wherever you are, hope you are blessed and doing safe. Welcome to another edition of Gavin Richard Presents on channel Gboot 2786 on Facebook. If you're watching me there, on Periscope, whoever you are, wherever you are, again, I hope you are blessed and doing safe. Uh, on tonight's topics, we have our brother, of course, extraordinaire. You can see I'm not home. I'm actually having a little me time right now. So without further ado, working on some projects, so that's why I'm here. But without further ado, we're gonna bring on our friend extraordinaire, brother Shawn James. Shawn, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fine, Shawn. We're gonna bring in brother Bernard a little bit later, the birthday boy. He's sitting in the chair. We'll bring him on in a little bit, but I wanted to have Shawn come on. All right. Matter of fact, we'll bring him on right now. What's going on, Bernard? Happy early birthday.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine, sir. And yourself?
I'm doing fine, and hope Shawn is doing fine as well. And
I'm
you
fine,
as
Bernard.
well.
I'm fine, Bernard. Happy birthday.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Well, we're going to get into it. So, Shawn, you've done a video on this, and I did a live stream, but most people already know. I'm going to go ahead and play the video. But most people already know that, of course, last week, Bill Cosby celebrated or actually, it was earlier this week. Bill Cosby celebrated his 84th birthday. And over the last week and a half, of course, most people know that he was released from prison and out in Phoenix Correctional Facility in Phoenix, Pennsylvania. And they have tried to push this as a technicality. And it stops no further than even it doesn't even stop further among our so-called black news channel and black anchors, because in fact, some of the biggest people who have spoken out against Mr. Cosby, against Dr. Cosby, have been black people. Anyone that takes a look at this video that we have here, this is courtesy of the Black News Channel. They have made it a point to ridicule and talk about Dr. Cosby. We have two individuals here. Let me pull it up. And the keyword is individual. I wouldn't even call them necessarily persons, but I'm trying to, where is this? Okay, see, this is what I hate. Yeah. Excuse me. I'm sorry about that, gentlemen and guests. People in the chat. I'm trying to find. I switch over from StreamYard to Google Chrome. It causes issues. Now, I want you to take a look at this because this is the so-called Black News Channel. And I want y'all to watch and listen carefully.
Morning, Sharon. Good to be here. I got to talk about something. All right. So we got a tweet to show you of an Instagram post that, yes, Bill Cosby put up. And I'm just like, sir, please have several seats. He put out this tweet because he got a haircut for his birthday. He just turned like 84 or something. But he put out this tweet to say, just got a fresh haircut for my birthday dinner tonight. In the words of James Brown, it's a man's world, but it wouldn't be nothing without a Cosby. Now, the first thing I saw was it's a man's world. I'm like, that's the wrong phrase and terminology to be using in your position. And I just think people don't want to see him right now, given the certain circumstances that just being released from prison and all that, even though, it was legal for him to be released. But I'm just like, this is one of those
Captain
times where I think he
Moistness.
just should just lay low and kind of just chill for a minute. but I guess he's trying to get back out there on the circuit. So I don't know. I don't want to see
leave
you,
the
sir.
picture up. Let me tell you something. I can't with Bill Cosby. And to see what you're not going to do is make me feel sorry for him. And I'm saying, put the picture back up, please, because if you look at the picture, Shannon, he looks like anybody's sweet grandpa. He does. Looks like this is where a child would say, Grandpa, let me take a picture and post it on social media. And look at that. Looks like you just want to give him a pudding pop and a hug, right? Doesn't it look that way? And then you read the message. I don't have ill will for Mr. Cosby,
Yeah,
but
right.
I do want him to just sit down and stay behind a curtain for a minute. Okay?
Thank
Can
you.
we relax without being inundated with this? He's talking about his birthday dinner. That's his right. He has every right to tweet. He says he got a fresh cut for dinner tonight. But are you playing with us here?
Right.
Humor me. Look at the shirt. It's just, I just can't even, and I don't have the energy to tell him off again, even though he didn't.
Who asked your opinion?
But I don't want to keep having, it's like he's provoking me, and I'm not going to take the bait. I'm not going to say happy birthday, but I'm not going to take the bait. I'm just not going to do it.
But wait, and also,
I'd rather talk about,
But you know how when he was going through all these court cases and all of a sudden he blind, he can't see. He looked like he can see now.
Oh yeah. I think he had a walking stick.
Right.
I think he did.
He had his guide. He was holding his guide.
He did.
He was like, "Oh, I'm out of jail. I can see."
He's not the one taking the picture, asshole.
Walking around. He says he's getting back on stage too. Okay. So
at the club,
I don't know what his ailments are. Well, exactly. We're still
well, he doesn't need a club. He can sell out arenas. The guy has sold out arenas. He doesn't need a club. She used to work for CBS or something. And look at her on the left. She's unbelievable.
On the full list, you know, they released the tour date, so we'll see what happens. But I do prefer to Eddie Murphy. Remember what Eddie Murphy told him years ago when he was criticizing everybody else for being vulgar? He told him have a Coke and a smile and do what now?
Wow.
And I just think, in the words of Eddie Murphy, is what he needs to just channel that for now. Okay, just give us a break.
Yeah,
give us a break.
We don't want to see you, sir.
I'd rather hear from people like Shonda Rhimes, who, she
talk about it.
Right. 300, I think the number is $300 million. Her
300 to 400.
Netflix
they could go
deal.
higher. Yeah.
Who gives a fuck? Who cares about Shonda Rhimes? Shonda Rhimes hasn't done anything for us. So I'm gonna let Bernard take it first. Bernard is sitting up there at the phone. I don't know if he saw. I'm sure he saw the video.
I was looking at this woman. I'm looking for her, but that's okay. I'm not worried about her. I see she was in the building, and she said the guy talking to the beta male. I was trying to find the woman, but regardless of whatever she's talking,
the woman is Sharon Reed.
He's talking. Yeah, that's her name. Yeah, I look up it, but they're both talking nonsense. I mean, really, to tell you the truth, but they are good attack dogs because white people really want to say what she's saying, but they can't do it. So there's some good attack dogs. It's kind of like the other day. You know, I know you saw it. They're on the steps in Philadelphia and singing "Reach From" in DC. I mean, you always get these coon Negroes to do this crap. So what they're saying is not surprising. I mean, I would say, to me, Bill Cosby is 84 years old, right?
Yes.
What do they say? Grandpa's pudding pop or something. I'm like, the worst part, they were even corny too. So I don't know, man. I mean, since Bill Cosby got released 2 weeks ago, it's been like a polarizing, some love, some hate. Howard University, which I already knew those coon Negroes up there would do what they did, with the faculty at least. I'm not talking about maybe the students, but the faculty at least. You know they're going to do that. So we shouldn't be surprised when these people do that. We should start having a counterattack for every time they do that. We punish you because at the end of the day,
yeah, well, if you look at the number of likes to dislikes on that channel, and there are more dislikes on it. That's Sharon Reed. Yeah, she was out in Atlanta She joined. She was a former anchor over at CBS 46 out in Atlanta. So, but you look at the Black News Channel. The Black News Channel is not even so-called black owned. The only guy that's on there, the only key owners would be J.C. Watts, who is a Republican, and the investor to BNC News is Shadid Khan, who's the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, multi-billionaire, and it's also owned. Now, here's the interesting thing: if you look at BNC, and I'm going to put the picture. This is that little beta male y'all were talking about, Shannon Lanier. He's out of Houston, Texas. He's from Houston, Texas. He's an alpha.
Is he like Morris Lamont Hill?
I think he's more like Swollen Martin.
Wow.
Member of the National Association of Black Journalists. And I just want y'all to look at the number of likes to dislikes on this video here. I've commented on it. Nicole was the one who got us commenting on it. People are not, when they say people are not interested in Bill Cosby, these people, I think, tend to differ from those two co-hosts. You should have just chosen to not talk about him instead of further amplifying his post for your own clout, clowns. I can't wait until he wins every lawsuit and makes y'all eat your words. That's what one person wrote. This person here, I had wrote, at first I thought it was a woman talking, but saw it was a dude. Too much moistness. Why don't you two find some? Wait, let me finish, Bernard. Why don't you two find some news to talk about instead of attacking an 84-year-old blind man that was wrongfully convicted? You have several seats. Bill Cosby is his own boss and he can do what he wants. Also, Bill Cosby took care of HBCUs for 20 years and other social programs in Black America. Yeah. So what you were about to say, Bernard?
So a couple of weeks ago, a coworker came up to me and he said, I saw Judge Joe Brown on that Black News channel with Mark Lamont Hill and he ate him up. He said he laughed about it. I said, well, he's supposed to be Mark Lamont Hill. That's like being in a lion's den, a little mouse. I mean, like it was lunch meat, man. But whatever the case may be about Mark Lamont Hill, he said, this is the worst interview I had. Story. So, I mean, I'm sure, hey, just those two that you just saw, just put the judge or anybody, even you, Gavin or Shawn, you can tear the hands up very easily. They probably cut us off. We'll never hear from them again.
Oh yeah,
who gives a damn when they say let them.
Yeah, Ashley Brumfield cut off Andrew Wyatt while he was when she brings up the deposition and he's starting to give facts. She actually rushes him off. I don't know if y'all saw that video. But that's what these people do. Nobody really pays attention to mainstream media anymore. And this is not even mainstream media. They don't even have the requisite number of views and likes. Their numbers are very low. They are not available here in they're not available in certain markets. I've never seen them in my market. So this doesn't surprise me. But when you look at who owns the BNC channel, the guy who founded it was founded in 2000, according to what I'm reading here. It was founded in 2004 by Bob Brilliant. Bob Brilliant is a white male. J.C. Watts is, I believe, he's a congressman. J.C. Watts, he is I believe he's a co-owner or CEO of it. So this doesn't surprise me. Yeah, he's the chairman of student affairs. So they try and get and recruit students out of Florida A&M, which is an HBCU, and they do scholarships with those groups. And, when it initially launched, I was okay, that's fine. But if they're going to be launching the next generation of coons and coonettes, cancel your subscription. See, it doesn't matter whether it's conservative or liberal. It's all bad for you. But let's get Shawn's take on it. Shawn.
Well, your BNC, or as I call it, Bootlick News Channel, basically is out here pushing the narrative against Bill Cosby because they want to try to call themselves trying to elevate themselves at Mr. Cosby's expense. As we can see, there's not much news on the Bootlick News Channel because this attempt to attack Mr. Cosby isn't really journalism. It's basically more propaganda to demonize Mr. Cosby's name and try to attack him. And this attack right here, is extremely egregious because you're attacking an 84-year-old man on his birthday. That's one of the lowest things I have ever seen anybody do, to go after an elderly man on his birthday. That's just
Who's
one of the most.
blind, and they mocked his blindness.
Yeah, and that's absolutely disgusting. If to see that, that's just not professional behavior of a journalist. That is bootlicking and brown nosing to get brownie points with white supremacists. And what I see here, again, it's absolutely egregious, and it's just absolutely disgusting to watch. And what was even more disgusting was they took Mr. Cosby's words out of context on that Instagram post where he was celebrating his wife for supporting him for these last 2 or 3 years. I mean, when he was talking about the song It's a Man's World by James Brown, he was talking about it in the context of having a great woman at his side, which was his wife, Camille. And what they wanted to do was twist Mr. Cosby's words and make it like he was doing some sort of evil thing. But this man was cleared of all charges and his record was completely restored. So Mr. Cosby had every right to go on social media because he did not violate any community guidelines. He did not violate any rules. I mean, even when he was in prison, he stayed right in line with the community guidelines of Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And he was on there doing what any other person would do. But the bootlicks at Bootlick News Channel, they wanted to go out here and try to get themselves some brownie points and some butter biscuits from their slave masters. So they went out here and instigated this attack on Mr. Cosby. And by them instigating this attack in order to gain the favor of their slave masters, what they did was show us how just reprehensible they are. I mean, you have the guy who is moist and questionable. Then you have the female who is patting that $2 weave, and it was just absolutely disgusting to watch. I mean, here these people want to attack a man who has done more in his lifetime than they ever will on that $5 an hour job, and they're sitting there trying to get brownie points to destroy a man who has built up so many black people. And that's what's really sad about this Bootlick News Channel, is that this Bootlick News Channel, because I can't call it a black news channel because it is not black owned. It is not talking about black issues. And if I really want to get black news, I will not go to the Bootlick News Channel. No, I will go to YouTubers like yourself, GBoot2786 channel, Mr. Superboy, Advice Show. I will go to the black YouTubers and go get the news, because you can't get the news from these corporate sites that are owned by whites and non-blacks, because those sites are all about promoting the same white supremacy and anti-black racism. But this one wants to use black faces to push anti-black racism. And that's why you can't trust these platforms like Bootlick News Channel, because these bootlicks are all about promoting white supremacy, but using black faces to do it.
Yeah, most definitely. And the repulsive thing that for me, especially when they're trying to say nobody wants to see you, what clubs will go to you? Bill Cosby doesn't need to go to a comedy club. Like earlier, it was reported a comedy seller out in New York stated he is not welcome, although they've welcomed Louis C.K. and Ansar Aziz, who has been accused of, who both have been Me Too'd. But they said it's not even on that level. Bill Cosby doesn't need your comedy club. He can go and sell out arenas. He can go sell out stadiums. He can go to other parts of the world, and people will go and see his comedy. He's been doing this for 57 years
And
or
I'm sure,
better.
and I'm
Yeah.
sure there are other clubs that'll be glad to have him. He could even do a live stream show and make a bunch of money. I mean, he doesn't even need the money, and the whole thing is he has so many options. It's not even funny, and I don't see why everybody's trying to deny Mr. Cosby his right to make a living. I mean, this man again has been cleared of all charges. The conviction has been overturned, so he has every right to make a living. And if other people like Louis C.K. can make a living, and other people like your I forget his name, but the guy who did the Roman Polanski. I
Roman
mean, Roman
Polanski.
Polanski has Oscars, and he has people in Hollywood saying they want to work with him. And Woody Allen is,
Woody Allen.
but
Woody Allen. You're talking about Casey Affleck. You're talking about James Toback.
yeah,
A bunch of people who've been accused of something. And this Sharon Reed, if I'm not mistaken, I don't want to gossip or say anything but incorrectly, but I've heard some stuff about her in the past. Y'all should just Google. But she comes out here with looking like Beyonce's little cousin, Beyonce, with that $2 weave on. As I call her Beyonce, and she's a fine woman. I ain't gonna lie, but this really upset me. What's up? We got to say hello. We got Harvey Superboy.
wow.
What's up, Harv? From your world, Tyree Dominique. What's up, Tyree? And a bunch of other who cares. This channel is growing, and I want to also just take this time right quick. Thank all my $1,000 subscribers, 1,000 plus, which coming in strong. This took a lot to do. I can't thank you all enough. We're just growing and growing despite everything that we've been going through with YouTube trying to censor us and pull things and having videos pulled down, having my channel scrubbed of subscribers, but still we've been persevering. So through trials and tribulations, we triumph. So I want to say shout out to all of you all. Thank y'all. But Harvey said they want to OJ him. Well, what they do, what they have always done is whenever a black man is accused of something, they get their day in court and it doesn't go the way that they want, they will still say you're guilty. What they did with OJ, it didn't matter that he was acquitted. They still call him a murderer. You look at the TV shows, they still say, oh, the juice got loose. He's a murderer. I watched the show Blue Bloods, and they talked about it like they didn't see the trial. They didn't see the part where they had Mark Furman on the stand and said, did you plant any evidence? And he pled the fifth. Or the video where the bloody sock wasn't there, and then when they turn around, all of a sudden the bloody sock is there. They have changed laws as a result of the O.J. Simpson case. Domestic violence laws have changed. And because of Bill Cosby, they have changed the statute of limitations for rape in certain areas, in certain states, and certain municipalities and jurisdictions. They have changed the rules on rape and how it's reported and so forth. It goes back even to when Barack Obama was president, because under Title IX, these things that they were implementing across college campuses, if a boy was accused of sexually assaulting his female classmate on college, the boy didn't have a right to due process. He could be expelled immediately without them having a hearing. And say what you want about Donald Trump, he was reversing a lot of that. But, that relates to what's going on. And Judge was even talking about it when he was dealing with Mark Lamont Hill, how they want a new classification for rape. They don't want just rape where you force a woman. And rape is about violence. It's more about violence and power than it is about sex. But with rape, they want a new classification where it's rape by seduction. And that's what you even see with Bill Cosby. Some of these women admit it. Like I saw Capone, who was defending Bill Cosby while he was on Comedy Hype with Pierre, who Pierre always takes the side, it looks like, against Cosby or against, against Cosby or against common sense sometimes. But Bernard knows about Pierre. But that's the type of thing that. But Capone said
Yeah, I
it
know where
best. It's
they're
like,
coming on, man. He's a special one.
yeah. But he was like, well, but like Capone said,
Mhm.
why do these women keep going back? They admitted going back over and over again. So, I mean, you want to award stupidity? You want to victimize them because they were stupid? I mean, how you have a relationship with somebody that assaults? That's why it just didn't make any sense. 4 years? One lady said it was going on for 4 years.
That makes no logical sense. And the whole thing is to reclassify a sex crime like that, it makes no logical sense. And it really is an insult to women. I mean, it really hurts those women who've actually been victimized by sexual violence to try to reclassify it because you're upset about Bill Cosby beating you in court, because the whole thing is that these guys are just in their feelings. They're upset like a black man has just beaten them in court fair and square, the same way OJ beat them fair and square. And they want to destroy him because he beat their system. But the whole thing is, you want to get mad at somebody, get mad at Kevin Steele, because it's his prosecutorial misconduct that led to this whole case being out here.
Right. Well, I mean, this case, the actual Chief Justice Bear even went on television lambasting that prosecutor for bringing this charge in the first place. He was not pleased that they even brought this into court because he knew there was an agreement. He was actually the first ADA when Castor made this agreement. He was on his staff. He was also there when the successor came over, Miss Furman. Furman, who is was the new prosecutor at that time, a woman. He sent an email telling them that there are to be no charges brought against Cosby. That deal stands. When a prosecutor makes an agreement, he doesn't make that as the individual. He makes that as the officer of not only the court, but also the chief prosecuting officer of that county. That's where the district attorney is. They bring criminal charges as the chief attorney of that district, just like an attorney general is the attorney for a state. He is that chief attorney. So what he says is binding. And what this guy did, what Castor did, was binding. And people can't take that and accept that. So all of these bootlicks that are on there, they can kick rocks, especially BNC. I will not subscribe to that channel. I encourage people, don't subscribe to it. Although, yeah, they may have a few. I don't doubt that there are some that are legit, maybe a few. But if it's going to be this big coon fest, with Moise Lamont Hill or Sharon Reed and that other dude, his name is Shannon Lanier, excuse me. I thought it was mad disgusting, but I digress. So, yeah, it was mad tacky. Next news I wanted to talk about was what's going on in Haiti right now. You guys know that the Haitian president has been assassinated. He was assassinated, I believe, sometime last Wednesday, and his own wife was with him in bed. This happened about 3 a.m. in the morning. There's been unrest in Haiti as a result of it. They've asked for, some of the politicians have asked the United States for help. Biden and the administration has stated that they will not be sending any troops into Haiti to stabilize the region. However, a main thing that was reported that caught my interest, I talked about this the last time. President Jovenel Moise, as we know, was assassinated back on July 7, 2021. His wife is still alive, from my understanding, but they're actually saying, and this is reported, I don't know if you guys caught this, but that one of the suspects, or a few of the suspects, had ties to the United States. Now, they say here that, and I don't know if you got, I'm going to pull it up right now. All right. This is from CNN. This was on July 13th. CNN actually doing this. That's a switch. CNN actually reported this. Okay, where are you? There we go. All right, can y'all see?
Yeah. Let me see.
Okay, so they said several of the men involved in the assassination of Haiti's president previously worked as U.S. law enforcement informants, according to people briefed on the matter, as U.S. investigators grapple with an increasing number of Florida links to the alleged hit squad. Haitian President Jovenel Moïse was killed last Wednesday in an operation that Haitian authorities say involved at least 28 people, many of them Colombian mercenaries hired through a Florida-based security company. Oh, Baba Dick Gregory would love reading stuff like this if he were alive. I'm sure he's looking at this shit. He said, it's a game. Says, following the assassination of President Moïse, the suspect reached out to his contacts at the DEA. So one of the suspects was a confidential informant to the Drug Enforcement Agency. A DEA official assigned to Haiti urged the suspect to surrender to local authorities, and along with a U.S. State Department official, provided information to the Haitian government that assisted in the surrender and arrest of the suspect and one other individual, the DEA said. The DEA said is aware of reports that some assassins yelled DEA at the time of their attack. The DEA said in the statement that none of the attackers were acting on behalf of the agency. They're also saying, though, however, that several of the suspects worked as informants for the Federal Bureau of Investigation. They said in a response that it doesn't comment on informants except to say that it uses lawful sources to collect intelligence as part of its investigations. Yeah, tell that to Fred Hampton. All right. So, look, as far as I'm concerned, and I'll just say this, all of it is alleged. I have to say that as a lawyer. I am not going to say that they're guilty or that they did this just because I want to err on the side of caution. I do not want my channel pulled like my other channel was pulled last week. But this past Sunday, yeah, my backup channel was pulled down for a week. But what do you think? I'm going to we can't forget Fox Soul. All right, I'm going to let Shawn go, and then Bernard, you can go.
Well, I'm thinking that this may be allegedly something to do with an undercover covert mission to undermine the Haitian government, because too many of if these guys are informants, it's looking real suspect. I mean, that's what I'm alleging based on what our reports are saying, because there had to be some reason for them to go after this Haitian president, some reason of him not going along with something as related to some of these other governments. I mean, Professor Black Truth has talked about this in depth on his channel, that sometimes when they want to take a guy out, they don't just go in and just take him out. They go and use other people to go do it. And this could be possibly what happened here, because the Haitian president wasn't going along with America's agenda, and they just said he just got to go.
Well, let's just not forget also Haiti, ever since the Haitian Revolution back in the late 1700s to the 1800s, early 1800s, which was one factor or a major factor why Napoleon Bonaparte sold Louisiana, made the Louisiana Purchase with the United States. That was one of the reasons, and they have never forgotten it. But the agenda, and my understanding, even with this president, he was not very popular from what I have been hearing, or wasn't very liked. But nevertheless, certain things I have heard he was not going along with. And could that be a reason? The other thing the other thing I look at is presidents doesn't matter whether it's President of the United States, President in Cuba, the Prime Minister in England, they have round-the-clock security. So I'm wondering, how did these individuals penetrate the gates of his home when he has security 24/7? Bernard. Yeah,
You
Bernard,
know
can you
what?
hear?
And we're gonna say the word allegedly. And
It is alleged. Yeah.
yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. But it was a lot of factors. Now, you're right, he wasn't well liked, and from what I read, he was also placed there, like, because Haiti's had a lot of stuff going on since that earthquake in 2010, and then the Clinton Foundation went in there and put, these contractors over there. They were allegedly for here, taking children and everything like that. But young woman said where they said the Haitians use nature, and they had a plant called some type of tea. I forgot the name of the tea. I should have wrote it down. Where they didn't take inoculations. And just last week on the press secretary said they were going to start delivering inoculations to Haiti after he was assassinated.
Bernard,
Now,
be careful with
DEA,
mentioning that.
to me,
Stop. Let me stop you. Be careful,
no,
please, when we're talking about inoculations and
yeah,
vaccines. All right, because I'm not.
that's why
I've had a channel. I've had a channel pulled. So we're all saying it's alleged. So just being careful. It's
gotcha.
alleged, and we don't know that for a
That's what
fact. I don't want
I said.
misinformation spread. Yeah.
Okay, got you. But that's the alleged. But also, I say he wasn't real life. But you know that what you're saying, your previous statement, this was an inside job all the way, because like I say, you got security, and so how did that
Right.
many people do it?
But
Killed? Oh,
right.
it stinks, but everything will come out to the light. But you just have to look at that and say, hey, setting it up for the next round. Is it going to happen
Right.
again? I mean,
Well,
maybe they're going back to assassination in the 60s. You never know. History always repeats itself, so you got to watch out.
well, history repeats itself when people fail to remember the past mistakes in history, and it plays out in our future.
Yep.
The Kennedy assassination. The Secret Service had a large role to do with that. If anybody just goes and looks at the video, even the House Select Committee on Assassinations, which was basically a farce, they even said that there was no Secret Service agent in that area. And all of the Secret Service agents were on Johnson's limousine. The parade route was changed at the last minute. The guy who Kennedy fired after the Bay of Pigs fiasco, his name was Earl Cabell, or Charles Cabell, excuse me. His brother was Earl Cabell, who was the mayor of Dallas at the time of the assassination. So when the parade route was changed from going straight to the trademark on that street, Main Street, he turns on Elm Street instead and is open to crossfire from multiple directions. So yeah, it's you can figure it out. Who changed it? There's your answer, allegedly. But I mean, the people who've done it, they're no longer, most of them are no longer alive. The witnesses are no longer alive. So only God knows, and only God will have final judgment over all of this. But this is going to be interesting. Yeah, what you say?
There was a book called, what's that book called? Economic Hitmen. So you book Economic Hitmen, you'll find out why they do these things.
I think you're talking about the book is called Confessions of an Economic Hitman, if I'm not mistaken.
Economic Hitman. Yep, that's it.
Yeah. I think it's available on Amazon. I think I have it. I haven't read it yet. I think I have it in my Kindle, my Amazon book collection, but it's something to look at. It's something to look at. Guys, I got to ask you, because we're strong in here now. Please, our channel is monetized. Should be monetized by now if you'd like to contribute, or if you can give to the Cash App at the link at the bottom. That's actually better. Gavin Richard Esquire, Harvey says one of Kennedy's own Secret Service did it. Uh, my information, while the Secret Service was in on it, no, I don't think a Secret Service agent was up in the front shooting because that would be even risky and everybody would see it. The actual shoot gunman, if you go look at the Orville Nix footage, Orville Nix was standing on the opposite side of where Abraham Zapruder was shooting his footage. That actually is the most important piece of footage because when Orville Nix is on the opposite side of Elm Street, you can actually see, and they enhance the footage when the car brakes, and then the headshot kills Kennedy from a grassy knoll. It was enhanced, and you can see not only a puff of smoke, but you can actually see the gunman holding the rifle, and you can see him from his shirt on up. A British documentary filmmaker, they did a film. They did something called the company's called Rice and Peas Films. I have the DVD because I've seen it my damn self. It was made back in the 80s. So Harvey says one of the guys standing in the car in front fired the shot. I know the Secret Service agents that were looking back, and they said I've heard the gunman in the car shot Kennedy right there. But no, he was being shot. Either way, Kennedy was being shot from multiple directions. I mean, there was bullet holes in the windshield. There was bullet holes in the roof of the in the roof of the car, the hood of the car. This was all documented. They took pictures of it. There was also another individual that was shot. His name was James Teague. He was the one that was hit by a piece of ricochet because the bullet hit. One of the bullets struck the underpass. Yeah, that shot was by accident. But the Kennedy being hit in the throat, that came from the front. The doctors at Parkland Hospital even looked at it and said that the bullet hole was the size of a pencil. So when it enters, as you know, Harvey, because you're military, entrance wounds, and Bernard, you know this because we at the gun range, entrance wounds are always smaller than an exit wound. So Kennedy was shot from the front and back. The key too is Governor Connolly being shot because his shot was by accident. That wasn't a magic bullet. They weren't trying to shoot him, but they could have killed Jackie because she was right there. But they were instructed nothing was to happen to her, and under no circumstances. But yeah, we're getting off subject. But I could do a whole video, a whole live stream on Kennedy assassination and Dr. King's assassination, for that matter, because there's a lot going on with that. We've had Judge come on all the time because Judge was involved in the reopening, as you know, Bernard, of Dr. King's assassination. So I want to talk about this before I get into. I guess I'm going to get into Vaxx that thing up in a second, but I did want to mention this one, this thing that came on, and I'm speaking specifically about the video. I'm not talking about the issue of whether you want to get vaccinated or not, but just the content of the video and why it was pushed and so forth. There was something that was brought to my attention, or it came to my attention earlier today, this morning. This cornerback Richard Sherman, I don't know if y'all saw it, but he has been arrested on burglary charge. Y'all seen that?
Yeah, I've heard that story about burglary, domestic violence.
Burglary, domestic violence. And they apparently have raw video footage of it. Now, I've never seen it yet, and I encourage people, I don't know exactly the contents on it, but they have been saying that Sherman was screaming. His wife was claiming that he was screaming about committing suicide and so forth. And I'll play a little bit of the video. This is courtesy of Como News. And let me just say this. This brother is innocent until proven guilty. No, it's not TMZ. So he was arrested on a burglary charge, and earlier this morning they denied his bail. Went before a judge, I believe, earlier today. I don't know if his bail had been, if they had reset it or what. But one of the big problems, oh my. All right. So I don't know exactly what was going on, but apparently he was trying to get inside this house. I believe this was his in-laws' place. And if I'm not mistaken, his wife was in there from what I've been reading. They were reporting it on ESPN. The 33-year-old cornerback was booked at 6 o'clock in the morning, local time, at King County Correctional Facility in Seattle. They arrested him on domestic violence charge. So I think, well, let me start by saying something. I don't know if this likely has anything to do with mental health issues or things of that nature. This was crazy to see that. Someone asks, is she white? I don't think she's white. So this happened early in the morning. They're saying he was eventually apprehended but caught. I can't play for whatever reason, it's not letting me play. It has no volume on it. Let me just state it for the record, especially when we see things like that, every person is innocent until proven guilty. That's just a general rule that I do, being that I'm a lawyer. I don't know all the facts and details of it. From what we see in the video, it doesn't look good. A lot of people have been commenting about it. I don't really want to play First Take or ESPN or anything like that, because when I look at ESPN, when I look at Stephen A. Smith, who basically proved to everybody he ain't nothing but a sucker, when he apologized over that baseball player. Yeah, but he has the smoke for black folks, but when white folks get on his ass or anybody else, he tucks his tail like a little boy. I get tired of that.
Yeah, Stephen A. Smith just told you last week, daggone, when I wake up in the morning, I wonder how much money my boss can make and how much I'm going to get out there. I said, God damn, man. Yeah. Hey, man, he need to be on that bootlicking news channel.
Right. Well, my main thing, though, too, with Richard Sherman, but to focus on Richard Sherman, I'll get back to Stephen A. Smith in a minute. But do you think there's some correlation? I'm just curious with regards to these concussions that we see a lot of these athletes get. We see athletes who suffer from CTE, which they get eventually at the end of their careers. Some people, even young men, like I remember when Junior Seau committed suicide. Junior Seau was still relatively a young man in his 40s when that happened, and they said that he had CTE, and it's something unfortunately you're not diagnosed with until after you pass, so there's no way of telling. But Shawn, I want to know what you think.
Well, it's very sad what happened to Richard Sherman, and it looks like the mainstream media is trying to turn him into the new brute of the month after they couldn't get really any traction on Cosby. So with them not able to try to demonize Bill Cosby, and they're still trying to demonize Bill Cosby in the media, they're trying to find another guy to come out here and make their new brute of the month. So what they want to do is make Richard Sherman the bad guy for July by talking about he participated in this burglary, domestic violence, and it looks like they're trying to amp this up into something that just is. It looks like he was just trying to get into this home of his mother-in-law, I think it is. But
This was his in-laws.
Yes, his in-laws' home, and I think his wife was there. And they're trying to make it into something more than what it is. It just seems like he was a guy who's just trying to get in, and they didn't want him in. And this is what happens to a lot of guys out here whenever they have a disagreement with their wife. This type of scenario happens, and then the police get called, and now the mainstream media wants to try to blow it up into making it like Richard Sherman is the latest black male monster. Now, some people would say that this, because Richard Sherman, I think he said some stuff earlier, and this is like him reaping what he sowed, because this is what I don't know what's going on. I have to go do some more research on it, but it looks like they're just trying to make a new bad guy, because even after Cosby got overturned, I think they were trying to do something with Chris Brown, and now here is Richard Sherman. It's like they're always trying to find some black male celebrity to turn into their latest black brute, because they love throwing out these narratives with black men, and they love pushing these kind of stories with black men as the bad guy. And sadly, it looks like Richard Sherman, he was again caught at the wrong place at the wrong time, and maybe he needed to do a little bit of critical thinking, because you got to really think when you're out here, because they love making up these type of cases and scenarios. And sometimes the wives and stuff and the family, they don't really think critically and understand that every time you call 911 on a black man, it's going to put that black man in a situation where he gets jammed up real
It's
bad.
life or death.
Yeah. And they're just in their feelings about, oh, I have this issue with this man, or he didn't put the toilet seat up, or whatever issue you're having. But you could literally lead to this man losing his life because one call to 911, and that man could be in a body bag 5 to 10 minutes later.
Yeah. Here's a 911 call that they posted.
Yep. Harvey's right. Every month they got a new one.
Yeah, every month they got a new one. I remember when Bill Cosby got sentenced. Remember, they came after Morgan Freeman.
Yep.
Stop interrupting me so I can get the information I need to get officers expedited.
I need officers here now.
What's he doing that you think he's going to harm himself?
He's being aggressive. He has sent text messages. I took the keys out. They're in your car. He's trying to leave now in the house. He's being aggressive. He's wrestling with my uncle. He's threatening to kill himself. He has sent text messages to people saying he's going to hang himself. He's saying that if the police show up, so please don't shoot is what I'm asking.
Okay, wait. Say that again.
He has no weapon.
He says if the police show up,
he said if the police show up, that he'll try to fight them. So they need to understand that he is.
Okay. Has it been physical with anybody there? You said he's trying to fight your uncle?
Yes, it has. Yes, it has.
How has it been physical?
He just tried to fight him.
Okay, trying to fight somebody and actually being physical, two different things. How has it been physical?
Oh, God. This 911 operator is horrible.
2016 black Mercedes. Richard, please stop. Richard, please stop. Please stop.
Is that a sedan, SUV?
It's just a black sedan Mercedes SUV.
Okay.
He's not going to be able to get out the gate. I cut it off.
What do you mean you cut it off?
I cut the gate. We live behind it. It's Richard Sherman. Like, ma'am, this is like a emergency. I need officers here
Listen
now.
to me. I'm handling this. You need to stop telling me that.
I'll tell you what
It's not going to slow help down.
He just got out the
It's
gate.
not going to slow help down.
Y'all hear this
Okay,
911
well, I need
operator?
contact.
She
What's
is
your
horrible.
name?
My name is Ashley Sherman.
What date of birth is?
Damn.
388.
Okay, slow down so I can understand you. What's the date of birth?
March 30th, 1988.
God. What the hell was that? You have an emergency going on, and that operator, listen, that 911 operator, yeah, she's a bitch. You're exactly right, Rosalind. I've seen this. I've seen worse. I've seen a woman call 911 while they were drowning, and the 911 operator was not helpful at all. That was pitiful. I've never heard anything like that. Somebody's calling you during an emergency, and you're telling them to be calm, be quiet. Fuck.
That was a man, but you know, hey man, she might need a job. Wow. Tis. We go through something every day, don't we?
Yeah. No, but I mean, you said she can do her job, but there's a way that you do it. But they even say here on the NBC, the audio of the 911 call made by Richard Sherman's wife can be released, and it's disturbing, both because it suggests Sherman.
So just by paying for my streaming services, I'm actually boosting.
It suggests Sherman is going through a serious struggle with mental health and alcohol abuse, and because it revealed that the 911 dispatcher showed an appalling lack of sensitivity to what Sherman's wife was going through. The 911 dispatcher told Ashley Sherman to stop talking, then asked her for the address and whether there were any weapons. Ashley Sherman tried to answer, and the dispatcher admonished her. The dispatcher admonished her, "You didn't let me finish. You need to stop interrupting." Yeah, this was pitiful. This was pitiful. And Richard Sherman was released from jail without bond. He had some conditions that the judge had set, which is typical in domestic violence situations. If they have a bond, if the judge is going to remove a bond, what they'll do is they'll make sure that they have to obviously show up for court on time. They have to stay away from the alleged victims, have no contact with them, things of that nature. So it seems here from looking at this, Judge Pamamuni Masanani, excuse me. I'm doing a live stream. Sorry. Judge Amamoy Masanani found probable cause that Sherman committed criminal trespassing, malicious mischief, driving under the influence, and resisting arrest. Prosecutors did not ask the judge for a finding on a felony residential burglary allegation for which he was initially booked. They have not yet filed charges. He declined to set a $10,000 bail as prosecutors requested it. The judge called Sherman, who did not attend the hearing, a pillar of the community, and noted that it was presumed he would be released because this was his first arrest. He can have no contact with the father-in-law, and that he cannot consume alcohol or non-prescription drugs. His wife said, "I love and support my husband. I am committed to helping Richard get the support and care that he needs. Richard has always been a loving father and husband. We are looking forward to seeing him at home with his family." Yeah, Guys, you got to realize whenever you call 911, you are, especially on a black man, you may have signed his death warrant by that. Just be mindful, especially in a domestic violence situation. But yeah, it's a sad situation. I'm waiting for everything to come out. But yeah, but ESPN. I know Shawn, you've commented on Stephen A. Smith. You said he's a bootlick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was proven. When do you have any thoughts about his apology and what he did? He also talked about the Nigerian basketball team in the Olympics by mispronounce. He offended them by mispronouncing their names, and a lot of people didn't like that. But most people were upset about his comments about the Japanese baseball player and Stephen A. Smith. At first, I thought he was that dude because I remember when Stephen A. Smith had the show. Quite frankly, y'all remember that? Quite frankly, on ESPN, he had on a plethora of guests, including Dr. Boyce Watkins. He had Steve Harvey come on. He had Allen Iverson, and that was a big one. I remember when he had those types of shows. But he's been flat out cooning. Whenever he talks about black people, he always wants to talk down on black men. And a lot of people have had they've gone at him for saying stuff like that. Corey Holcomb, shout out to the 5150 Nation. He doesn't like Stephen A. Smith, Kwame Brown. Stephen A. Smith made a living talking about him, calling Kwame Brown a bona fide scrub and so forth. But I've started to look at Stephen A. Smith and some of the stuff he said. Remember when Stephen A. Smith got suspended when he made comments about Ray Rice and talking about how women should be mindful and careful around men? And I understood what he was saying, but they took him off the air for a whole week after that white woman on ESPN, who's no longer there, Michelle Beadle, criticized him, which she was wrong for because it was against company policy. But who did they punish? They punished Stephen A. Smith. So he made those comments about Shohei Ohtani. And basically he says, but when you talk about an audience gravitating to the tube or to the ballpark to actually watch you, I don't think it helps that the number one face is a dude that needs an interpreter so you can understand what the hell he's saying in this country. And when I look at it, this baseball player plays for the Angels. He needs he does have to have an interpreter speak for him. I understood what he was trying to say. Like, baseball is not a very popular, I'm not going to say it's not a popular sport, but among black people right now, it is not popular because that's not what they push. Who do we see that do the commercials? Who do we see in the movies? Like Space Jam, LeBron James. We see Steph Curry with his channel. He's executive producing some game shows. You see, Draymond Green. You see Damian Lillard, all of those guys in the NFL. You have Russell Wilson. You have Michael Thomas. Alvin Kamara. All of these guys who are popular in the NFL, I'm just naming a few of them. The kids flock to them because that's all that's on. Nobody watches base. It's not as popular as it was in the 1930s or 40s. So I understood what Stephen A. Smith was saying, but basically, I don't feel sorry for Stephen A. Smith or anything like that because he's always been cooning. Anybody got a comment?
Well, bootlicks are going to bootlick, and we all know the final fate of a bootlick.
All right, go ahead, finish your comment.
Hey, look at me. Steve Smith made all that jive and talking about Kwame Brown. And Kwame Brown look like the smartest line in the den right now, man. He told you about Stephen A. Smith. He told you about all the people, man. This stuff is like, man, this thing too much like right, man. But when Stephen A. Smith, I saw his hand around that Jewish guy, and then he said that thing about basically he get whatever scraps his boss leave him. I said, yo, Steve, if you were trying to make Kwame Brown look bad, you'd have done a very bad job. You look like a day. Every day I look at you now, and you can keep on being a sucker too. So what is surprising? But hey, I guess Stephen A. found out what Stop Asian Hate means. They told him, we don't care who you is. We don't care if you make $12 million a year. We'll straighten your ass out, Stephen A. You see, he got in line real. And like Shawn said, hey, he did what his slave master told him. Good job. You want a cookie?
Yeah. Yeah, Stephen A. Smith. Yeah, this is funny. With Stephen A. Smith. Yeah, with the Afro-American RoboCop headline. Yeah. I don't even watch ESPN like I used to. I don't even watch Fox Sports. No, it's all stupid. I may catch things from time to time if nothing's on. I have watched the NBA finals lately, but other than that, I just have no interest in a lot of this stuff. But let's continue on. I want to do our last topic, and I wanted to talk about Vaxxing that thing up. Last week, Juvenile did a video with Manny Fresh and Mia X for a website, for a dating app called BLK Dating. And the title of it is Vaxx That Thing Up, which is a play off the 1999 hit classic, Back That Thing Up. Now, it's kind of double-edged for me because I'm from New Orleans, and I love Juvenile, Manny Fresh, and those guys. Mia X, they are part of hip-hop history. They put NOLA on the map, and they butchered the ass anthem of my generation. I'll go ahead and play it. And let me be clear, when I'm doing this is only for criticism purposes only and news. This is not me claiming ownership of the music or the song. So I got to do that because I don't want to get hit with another copyright claim. So Fair Use Act of 1976. And I'm not talking about vaccines per se, but I am talking about how the manner and approach that many groups of people are trying to get Black people to get vaccinated. And they're reaching all the way to the 1930s. My opinion. So I'll go ahead and play it.
You finna online date chat, find a mate chat, open up the okay ass, okay yeah, profile picture looking tight chat, nice chat, got your bio reading right chat, precise chat, but before you find a date chat, you gotta wait chat, gotta go vaccinate chat, get it straight chat, girl you look good, want you fax that thing up, you's a handsome young brother, want you fax that thing up, ain't no real life, you need to fax that thing up, feeling freaky all night, you need to fax that thing up, girl you look good, want you fax that thing up, you's a handsome young brother, want you fax that thing up, ain't no real life, you need to vax that thing up. Feeling freaky all night, you need to vax that thing up.
I know you can't stand it, no holding hands, chick. But when we get the shot, we gon' be romancing. Girl, you could be the queen, after quarantine. We could meet up at the spot and we could do the thing. Internet date chat, I'm your mate chat. Download the app, shawty, you ain't gotta wait chat. I love it when you hold me, ain't playing emoji. You could be the young hot thing, I'll be the OG.
Girl, you look good, want you fax that thing up. You's a handsome young brother, want you fax that thing up. Ain't no real life, you need to fax that thing up. Feeling freaky all night, you need to fax that thing up. Girl, you look good, want you fax that thing up. You's a decent looking brother, want you fax that thing up. And you full of speed, you need to fax that thing up. Herd immunity when you fax that thing up.
If you wanna get sticky and hot, Go, 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 get the shot. If you wanna smash some dude named Scott, go, 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 get the shot. Go, get the shot. Go, go, get the shot. BLK says go, get the shot. You wanna smash with Scott, smash, smash with Scott. BLK says go.
I said the same thing.
Smash with Scott.
All right, who's smashing Scott?
Hey, come on, man.
You know what
That
this
is so lame, though. Oh my goodness.
This gave me booty to the polls vibes. Y'all remember when that happened last year?
Yeah, I remember that. Ad.
You gave me the word. God damn. God damn. Took the words off my mouth, man. That's exactly what he did.
Certified minstrel show.
Well, they've used hip hop. They used it a couple of months ago when they had Run DMC do an ad up in New York. Now they've entered my territory and have gotten Juvie the Great and Manny the Fresh looking like a stud and Mia X, who's actually a professor. Mia X is a professor out at Loyola. God.
Well,
yeah, this was a whole.
Hey, look.
So they're using sex to get blacks. They're using sex to get blacks to get vaccinated. Yeah.
That just shows how little they think of black people.
Same thing what they did with
Hey, you got a clap.
What?
Okay. You got a clown emoji, man. Look, man, I can't stop laughing, man. Look, I'm sorry, but I gotta say something. And I always say this: we are living in a alternate clown show. I don't need Bottom and Bailey circus no more. This is the circus for real, man. Let me say something about that thing. That thing is so levels. First of all, you show what the women doing. You say BLA, and then BLA. The dating site throwing out COVID cards and all this other crap, like make it rain, he making it rain cards. And then you look at the video and you're like, hold on, you trying to sell sex or you trying to sell what? So to get it again, you think about, no, wait a minute now. So are you suggesting I get laid because of the shot tonight? What are you saying? But I understand you're trying to do it. My only thing is you went on CNN the next day to talk about it. And they showed you them comments that people were giving you your social media for a while. So Juvenile knew he was gonna take the pushback, but hey man, when you get that bag in your pocket and you say, hey man, I'm just gonna sell out and do what I gotta do, and you still insulting us both ways. You're insulting us on our
Yeah, you understand?
You're insulting us both ways.
In my hand, you understand?
Hey man,
that's one of Juvie's.
Hey, look, man, you know. I guess Baby and Lil Wayne took all the money left behind. You say I'm broke, man, so I gotta, make it like I can. I go on CNN, pay me for that. Hey man, they paid you out of the American Rescue Plan because they told you what they were gonna do and use all that COVID money to pay people. But hey, it is what it is. But don't fall for the clown show. Just get out.
My thing is that how you feel about the vaccines is one thing. BLK is a dating app, and they were using this obviously to promote their app as well as getting black people, I guess, increasing the vaccination effort. I know they're trying to make an effort in across different cities, trying to get people vaccinated. I know they did the lottery, like I was saying earlier. They have it in my state. They also have barbershops that are trying to do it, but I'm pretty sure this was whoever owns BLK Dating, and I don't know who the people behind it right now, but I think a white man approached Juvenile to do this. I had to have been a white man, So, Juvie. So, wouldn't it be real cool if you go get the shot, do a remix of your hit.
I hope all of them in the video were women. Yeah.
Okay, so the guy who owns, so the co-owner of, I don't have a picture of this guy, but it says here his name is Omid Farhang.
Well, by the name we know he ain't one of us. I tell you by the name.
By that name, that's yeah.
Yep, he's not one of us.
Not black. Let's see. Well, let's see if so. He's a copywriter. I don't know if this is. I'm assuming this is him. Hold on, because I've put his name in, but this is all right. This is the picture of the guy that owns. Yeah, I believe he's Arab.
Yeah, relax. Wow. Tis. This guy might not be no Arab, man. I'm trying to tell you, probably is.
Says it's on his LinkedIn. Is from Atlanta, Georgia. He has an agency in partnership with Chicago.
Interesting. He is.
That's not the right person. So I think it's this guy. If I'm correct.
Wow.
So when you first start out in this business, you've watched enough videos like this to have learned the importance of having.
He's a CCO of Momentum, Chief Creative Officer. So I think I believe, from reading this, when you read the article right at the top, majority co-founder Omid Farhang was in the pitch meeting and co-wrote the original lyrics. These are the ideas we bring to meetings to show clients that we are unafraid. Part of our job is to push them with the expectation that we are not going to actually make these ideas 99 out of 100 times. You're right, because this was something else. I don't know who came up with this idea.
This was a terrible idea, and all it did was breathe brand new life into old stereotypes and promote the idea that black people, all we think about is sex all the time. I mean, this was just basically one of the worst things I've seen since Booty to the Poll, which was a complete slap into the face of the black voter. And this whole campaign really is an insult to all of the black people as related to the pandemic. This whole ad campaign, again, it's an insult because it shows how racist these people are. They only see black people as only thinking about sex, one. And then two, you have him coming out here trotting out this older rapper who hasn't been seen in 20 years. They're bringing him out and then having him retool his song. And it just comes across as a big certified minstrel show. And it just shows how sad the approaches are as related to this pandemic. I mean, first we had the guy from Run DMC, and now we have this guy. And it just shows that they really don't think critically. I mean, when I look at I wanted to do a video about the whole approach to the pandemic, but now you have people talking about they want to try to get people, censor people on social media because they don't want misinformation out here. But the approaches that they're using are the reason why that people are turned off is because you're pandering to people, you're coming out of desperation, and your approach is just so poor that it turns people off. I mean, the way you come at people isn't in a way that is earnest. It just comes across as desperate. And when you come across as desperate, people don't take you seriously because you're trying way too hard. I mean, the way I look at the way they're approaching things, and people need to be able to allow to make their own choices. But if you push too hard, people just push back. And this is something I learned from going out here and trying to promote books, is that if you push too hard, you're going to push people away. And instead of them connecting, they wind up walking away. And with this whole promotion, it's sad because it shows how little they think of black people. They don't think we're smart enough to make a informed choice if we were presented with the facts. And they think that they have to come to us in the way that I used to see them come to me when I was a kid in shows like the ABC after school specials or those very special episodes of shows like Blossom or one of these other shows. I mean, it just is a really terrible approach, and it just reeks of desperation and insecurity.
Yeah. And on that note, like I said, remember what they did with the election last year when you had the get your booty to the polls. And then on top of that, you had that professor who was on BNC News talking about how women have to withhold sex if Biden loses the election. Black women need to withhold sex for black men. I can't think of her name, but she was on there a couple of weeks ago talking about Cosby.
Her name was like Professor Crunk or something. Yeah, Professor Crunk or something. Brittany Cooper.
Yeah, Professor Clump. That's what you had it right, Professor Clump.
Hey, but look, let me ask a question.
These women they invite these people. They're stupid. You're a professor at a school. I don't know what school. What they must be lowering their standards. And you're actually talking about withholding sex if you don't vote Democrat, as if any man would want to go with you. And let me just say this: this is not me fat shaming anybody, because I'm overweight myself. It ain't about that. It's the fact that she uses her platform to bully and talk down black men, and you can tell, especially the way she lied and was talking about Bill Cosby. So I don't have any respect for her. That's pathetic. That you would withhold. It's one thing if you were joking with me, but you were flat out serious. If I don't vote for Biden, you gonna withhold pussy from me? Telling withhold the pussy? Shit, nobody go to your. Nobody want that stretched out stick. Nobody want that.
Hey,
I don't want you.
Say something.
This woman's an idiot. She's getting nowhere. Yeah. She's an idiot.
She talk like but look, no. Well, yeah, she is an idiot. But look, here's how I know. But she looked like she was like a supermodel or something. I'm like, hold on, man. Like, no. But look, nevertheless, and I was just
you built like a stack of socks, man. You look like you built like a bag of dirty laundry. Get the fuck out of here.
But look, I wanted to say
like Red Fox was saying, got a soft on.
I'm going to video up of Juvenile when he had an interview with CNN, but I want people to see how much it was like 4 minutes, 5 minutes long, and see how much they clowning us in this video. They were telling, I know that girl and that white guy that was up there with Juvenile on that CNN interview, they probably never even listened to the damn song. They were telling, man, this is one of your best hits, and you're doing so much good for the community. You need to see that interview and see Juvenile's reaction, man. That's not pathetic.
Yeah.
But it's okay. They see they had an interview with him.
I only tell you know what?
Yeah.
I know they say people are always watching. You gotta watch what you say, but to hell with it. No. You gotta watch. The key is you gotta build yourself up so that I don't have to worry about what other people think. You gotta be your own boss. That's what I like to do. Donate, give things to the channel. Because, and let me be clear, I'm wearing this shirt. This is just me showing my pride for my HBCU. But and just because this was the cleanest thing I had, this was the cleanest thing I had in my closet. Harvey said he's gonna do a video on this. Yeah, go ahead and go do your thing, man. But we gotta talk about stuff like this because this is denigrating to our people. When you have stuff like this going on. Let me be clear. I'm not a prude or saying that I don't like to have a good time or anything like that. I thought it was, if it's a parody, it's one thing. They were not using it as a parody. If it's, I'm never going to say what an artist can and can't say. But the thing is, when you say something, when you're doing a joke, even if you're on stage, it either hits or it doesn't. You either kill or you bomb. And a lot of people weren't feeling this. I'm kind of not feeling it just because, and they redo lyrics all the time to hit songs, but just the way it came off, and I'm sure in that board meeting in that room, you had people that didn't look like us in there that were going along with this all the way. So that's all I have to say on it. I don't have any more really to say for on that issue and that matter. I think I've covered everything. Somebody wanted me, I think it was Computer Robots, wanted me to talk and I'll just do this briefly because I got to wrap it up. But this Aurora, Colorado police officer is running for mayor and
Running for sheriff.
He's running for sheriff. I thought he was running for mayor.
Well, from one of the story that the Computer Robots gave me was he's running for
yeah, it was sheriff. Okay, excuse me. He's running for for office, and anybody that remembers, he was involved in an infamous video of all of those black kids that were pulled out of that car, black kids and the two black adults that were in there. He's running for sheriff, and you're correct, Shawn. And that made news last year during the pandemic. So he's running. I want to know what anybody thinks briefly on that. Just my brief thoughts on it. I don't live in Aurora, so I can't say I'm going to vote for him or not. But if I did live there, would probably look for Barney Fife before him.
Yeah, but this is a case of white supremacy protecting itself because they know that this cop, he's already been punished, he's already been demoted in Aurora, so they want to move him to another place so that he won't, so he can be able to go on having his career, and also promoting that whole anti-black culture in another place. So this is white supremacy doing what white supremacy does, protecting these rogue police officers. Now he's been punished, but what they want to do is protect him so that he can continue go on making a living someplace else. What's scary here is that as a sheriff, he has more power, and that's one of the reasons why people really need to get this story out, especially new black media. We need to get the word out because the more that this guy is out here and he's like this, it's going to allow him to just be able to slip from one job to another. And that's why new black media has to go out here and speak on this story, because what's happening here is what they usually try to do to some of these rogue police officers is they try to cover for them and then get them another job someplace else. Like Professor Black Truth has talked about numerous times. He's talked about this, and that's what we're seeing here right now.
All right, Bernard. Bernard's frozen. Or
Let me say something about that situation. Nothing, but it also goes to show you that people, how quickly we forget. We got caught. A lot of people got caught up in hype of BLM and stuff like that, and they can always slip something under your nose. So when we have these topics, we can forget. I know some cultures, they don't forget. In fact, one culture tell you never forget, right? But it is what it is. I mean, but like he said, we got to get the word out on it. But at the same time, I mean, are people going to listen? I mean, probably need to get the makeup of that city in Colorado you're talking about, because of the majority white town. I mean, they might get him in anyway. So they're not gonna hate them. They're gonna protect their own anyway. So
yeah, I mean, the cop who shot Rice is trying to get his job back. That's actually going on. He's fighting feeling that.
The cop that shot Tamir Rice is still trying to get back on the police force. Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he's still trying. That doesn't surprise me. I remember I think it was Professor Black Truth, or it might have been Tariq Nasheed who even said this, that white supremacists don't get fired, they get transferred. So we will see what happens with that. I don't know much. Somebody asked me about what do I think of Space Jam 2. I think it was Computer Robots that asked me about that as well. I don't think much of Space Jam 2 other than it's just they're just trying to capitalize off of the past in the 90s with the new talent that they have. LeBron James is what they always try to compare him to be as the next Michael Jordan or better. And it's no secret that they're doing Space Jam with him. I had a debate with somebody who didn't like Space Jam, the movie, last time, but I mean, that was part of my childhood, watching Space Jam and, movies like that, No Holds Barred, uh, even Mr. Nanny when Hulk Hogan was on all of it. Although those movies suck, as kids, we enjoyed them as kids because those were our heroes. Those are the people we looked up to. Uh, Michael Jordan was somebody we looked up to until I found out that the guy was a jerk. As an adult, you find out that a lot of your heroes are not what you think they are. There's an old saying, don't meet your heroes. Maybe not all of them.
You cut me out, man.
I didn't cut you off. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, but Bernard left. I don't know what happened. But what did you think of what do you think of Space Jam 2? I think Computer Robots wanted to ask us that.
Well, it's another desperate attempt to capitalize on the 90s and another desperate attempt to elevate LeBron James. That's all I'll say about Space Jam 2 because, Hollywood, they're afraid of new ideas, so they go out here and recycle an old idea once again in an effort to try to get people on the nostalgia train. But most people know that LeBron is not on the level of Michael Jordan, and he never will be on the level of Michael Jordan due to the way he behaves, like the way he did at the playoffs this year when he walked out on his team when they were losing.
Yeah, well, I mean, even Michael Jordan has been proven to be a dick.
Yeah, but on the court, he's always professional. I mean, yeah, he's got his freight. He's quite a jerk sometimes, and in certain situations. But LeBron just comes out. I mean, his team loses, he demands a trade. His team loses, he walks away. He doesn't know what sportsmanship is.
Yeah. Well, I remember with Michael Jordan is which Chameleon has said when he wanted to take a picture with him, and Michael Jordan said allegedly, "I don't pose with niggas." So,
yeah.
I mean, I've met a lot of these celebrities. It doesn't surprise me. A lot of people are surprised when they meet them, but a lot of celebrities I know of, there are some who are legitimately nice, but there are a lot who are jerks. I mean, and that's just the bottom line. Real arrogant. I don't like to comment on people that I have not met, but I mean, I've heard things about people said negative things about Michael Jordan. Steve Harvey is another one I've heard bad things about. A few other people. I met Karl Malone. Karl Malone wouldn't even shake my hand. Was real arrogant. A lot of those guys, I don't really care for them. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
I zipped out. I didn't hear that. I know what happened, but what are you talking about? I see some jerk stuff like that. So what's going on here? I might have missed that.
We were just talking about the Space Jam movie. Someone asked, "What did we think of the new Space Jam coming out?"
Interesting. I guess why Lucky You Radio is saying don't go watch it. He said LeBron is a crybaby, Brent, take your pick. I guess that's what he's saying.
Well,
it's interesting.
I'm sure my brother and my nephews will go see it because they love the Looney Tunes. I love them too, but I probably will just wait till they come on regular TV and watch it. That soundtrack from the original Space Jam 2, I mean,
you took out a review, man. Hey, that's the fun out of it.
Well, the original
Hey,
Space
2
Jam.
points.
Stop. The original Space Jam, the soundtrack was. That's one thing I remember when they had songs like by Monica and of course R. Kelly when he did "I Believe I Can Fly," which was a breakout hit. Yeah, Lucky, your radio says those are our leaders. Yeah, the athletes. We gotta look up. We can't speak ill of our leaders, guys. Athletes are the ones that lead us to the promised land. Yeah, but I'm gonna wrap it up, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank everybody that's tuned in. But before we do want to. I want everybody in the chat right now to wish a happy birthday to King Bernard Johnson. I want y'all to say happy birthday, Bernard.
Nah, sorry, man. But
Happy
thank you, man.
out the womb.
Yeah, thank you.
A happy birthday again.
Yeah, happy
Thank
birthday
you,
to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy
I'll play
birthday. Happy birthday
on this
to
song later.
you. Yeah. So anybody that's interested, I want to thank you again to my 1,000 subscribers. But let everybody know where they can follow and find you guys at. Shawn, let's start with you.
Well, you can find me on Facebook as facebook.com/Shawn S. James and twitter.com/Shawn S. James. You can find all of my books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find them on Smashwords, the iBook Store, and Google Play. And you can check out my Shawn James channel on YouTube. And that's on, you can just type Shawn James in the search bar and it should pop up, or Shawn James Writer, and it'll pop up.
All right. Bernard's is on. Go ahead, Bernard.
YouTube, you can give me a King. You can give me a King BJ Johnson. You can give me Bernard 11 Instagram. You can also give me a 1987 BJ on Twitter, and kingbjmedia.com, and also kingbjfitness.com. And I want to say that hey, I do thank you for your birthday shout outs. I'll be 34 years old tomorrow. And with all the stuff going on here, I almost feel like you gained 20 years on you. But actually, I'm still young and vibrant, able to get up and run at 5:30 in the morning. I'll be getting up, working out, going to the gym at 5:30 in the morning. So it is what it is. One monkey don't stop no show, and just got to keep on pushing. And I want y'all to keep on pushing as well with the great content. Gavin, you've been rolling, like I told you earlier. And shout out to you and your 1,000 subscribers and people, Gavin Rashad Esquire, because hey, we wait censorship. We're gonna need to have kind of like almost like a underground donation thing going on. So keep on doing it, Gavin.
I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate you coming on. I look forward to talking to you tomorrow. I'm sure you'll be on Judge's show. I don't know what the topic will be, but we'll be listening in. I need everybody to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. If you like the live stream, we have more to come. We do this every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Shawn only joins me on Thursdays, but Tuesdays and Sundays I have my own shows that I do to keep this platform going. So 34 is a blessing. I'm 35, man. So we're still young. Still work out. Yeah.
Shawn, you got the best radio voice ever. Please do a commercial. Do a commercial, Shawn. You got the best radio voice ever.
Yeah. Well, I do ads, so I have another Stop Simping and Cyberspace ad out where I did the voice stuff. So I'm going to do a video talking about voice work and trying to I'm making an offer for people to offer me voice work jobs if they want to. I'm going to look into it, trying to do more voice work in the future.
Voice work is good. Drew Story News, who I know, he's been doing a lot of voiceovers, and it can be a very lucrative field to be in. Supportive. There are a lot of people who've made careers out of being voiceover actors. and doing voiceover work. It's something that you can do. Something I'm interested even in doing. So you guys, don't know if you have any more to say. Yeah, that's right.
I have nothing else to say.
Well, no, you're not the only 70s. Shawn is born in the 70s. I'm sure Shawn can remember the 70s.
Still young.
I remember like the late 70s, 77, 78, 79. So I was born in 73.
But he was but you remember the 80s mainly.
Yeah, I grew up mostly I remember most of the 80s and most of the 90s and I'm part of the 70s. I remember Star Wars, I remember Fantasy Island and NBC and Charlie's Angels, the last end of it.
I remember I can remember like 1989. I remember Super Mario. I remember going to see movies like I actually saw this in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids in theaters. That was the first movie I can remember seeing. I remember seeing No Holds Barred, Nintendo, the Mario, Super Mario, all of those things, man. Those yeah, man, it makes me feel like a kid again when I think of that stuff. You know, it's funny how time flies, man. You think you have all the time in the world and it passes you by without you noticing it. But I'm a 90s kid. 80s baby, 90s kid. Yeah. All right, guys.
She was born in Texas. She's still young. If she's still living, hey, look, you never old. You still living. You still young. You got life. So glad that she actually still watching with us. So that's all I gotta say. I want y'all to have a good night and keep on pushing.
I need everybody to please go and check out my Creole seasoning blend, Nawny'sCreoleSeasoningBlends.com. Nawny'sCreoleBlends.com. That is the website for my seasoning company. Try it on chicken, meat, or fish. Nawny's goes great with every dish. Will be available in stores hopefully sometime before the end of the year. I'm working on that. Of course, we have an online marketplace, so I'm trying to develop that as well. But I want y'all to please check that out. Also, in the meantime, you can also donate. Yeah, I was born in '86, so yeah, those were good times. I know Shawn, Shawn and Harvey, y'all talk about all the stuff that goes on, like pop culture. Like I saw Harvey's video on Richard Donner. Well, Shawn, you did one as well.
Yeah.
Richard Donner, he was a great director. I remember him mainly as the director of the Lethal Weapon movies and as well as Superman and the Goonies. That's what I remember as a kid. I remember watching the Goonies a lot and Superman. But he was also, a lot of people don't know this, but he started out directing like episodes of television, including Gilligan's Island. And he also was the director of The Omen.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he lived to be 91 years old. So, I mean, that's a hell of a life, man.
Yeah, it was a very, very well fulfilled life.
Very much so. That's a lot of people. So, in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, you can support me by going to stream and download the song. Got to get on up. And as we always close it out with that, I'll holla. Peace, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Bernard. Thank you, Shawn. This has been another edition of Gavin Reshaw Presents on channel GBoo2786. You guys be safe and be blessed. And download. Got to get on up. So, thank you, Shawn. Thank you, Bernard.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Exactly.
Good evening.
Girl, come on. Gotta dance to the beat. Cause on the dance floor is where we live. Show me what you got. Gotta feel the groove.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on.
Right now the party's wasted. nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up. Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on earth, wind, and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop, I'll do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up. Now 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you breathe and you achieve. And so if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll be. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the floor, baby. Yeah, gotta get on the floor, baby. Gotta get on the floor, baby. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.